Hi, I'm Nick Huston here for Gotham Sound and Communications. Today we're going to be talking about miniature belt pack recorders. They've been around for a little while, starting off with the Zaxcom and their recording wireless and the ZFR100, 200, and 300. That shot is dark. And the little darling coming out last year. And now Tascam is coming out with the DR-10L, which is another belt pack recorder. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about these three different options and kind of compare and contrast them. So let's talk about the Zaxcom first, because the Zaxcom was the first one. So here we have this is actually a Zaxcom TRX35. So this is a recording wireless. This looks exactly like a Zaxcom ZFR300. The only difference between the ZFR300 and the TRX LT35 is that there's no transmitter built into the ZFR, which is not entirely true. There is actually a transmitter, but it is not an RF radio mic quality transmitter. It's an IFB monitoring transmitter. So the Zaxcom TRX or the Zaxcom ZFR recorders, the 200 and the 300 are available now. The big difference between the 200 and the 300 is the number of batteries. So the 300 has one battery and the 200 has two batteries. Both of them have the ability to record on a micro SD card. So there you go, micro SD. These all record on micro SD. And then the other thing that that this can do is it uses something called what does it use? It uses something called NeverClip, which is Zaxcom's proprietary way of stacking A to D converters that allows you to have much greater dynamic range. So the idea being that you could have your levels set too high, set too low, and with NeverClip, you're going to be able to pull out the levels that you need to in post because there's no distortion. So this thing is already recording. You can set this to start recording as soon as you start it up. That's nice. And then the other great thing about these that the new ones don't have is that it has timecode in. So you can, before you put the microphone in, you can jam into the microphone input jack timecode. And this will run with timecode, sync to whatever it was you sunk it to, whether it's a camera, whether it's a sound recorder, whatever. And when you bring it back, it'll be all sunk via timecode when you take the files out. The other way that you can do it is with a wireless controller called an IFB 200, which will also allow you to jam timecode into this. So this is the only Bodypack recorder that will actually have timecode. So that's the Zaxcom. Over here we've got the little darling, which we'll talk about next because it came out next. The little darling, it's the same idea as the Zaxcom except for no wireless feature. So to turn it on, you would have to use some kind of screwdriver or paper clip, preferably not a pen. But there's three buttons on this that use a combination of buttons to change the menu settings. Now this also works on AA batteries. There you go. You can see AA battery, the AA battery right there. There's the micro SD card slot. When you put in the card in, it actually has to be pre-formatted on a computer. And it takes about 3 minutes. Our techs here, it took them about 3 minutes to do it the first time they'd done it. And it's reasonably simple, but you do need to do that to set up the config file to tell it how you want to record, like what the file name's going to be and whatnot. And you have to make sure that you format it in this special formatting on a computer to make sure it records. So because of, it's a pretty common thing that when talent has a microphone, you can't always set the levels exactly how you'd want them to be. which is why we have sound mixers, adjusting the levels, making sure that that what you're recording is appropriate. But with something like this, Zaxcom has the Never Clip. This has what they call bracketed recording. So no matter what you set your levels to, it's going to record 16 decibels down. So if your talent gets really loud, you're not going to clip on this, or you probably won't clip on this unless, of course, you have it set way too high, and you're and you're going to an airport or using a chainsaw or something like that. But the menu structure on this is a little bit different. There's a little cheat sheet here that tells you what these characters mean. So this G here is for gain, and to go into the gain menu, you would push both the up and down arrows to select. It's labeled. Whoops, and I pushed down too much. Okay, so you would push that, and if we plug a microphone in, we'll see that there's a little meter that's based around the number 0. So the more around to the number 0 that you've got, the higher the level is. So right now it's probably a little bit too hot for my voice because there's not much room for error. So I'm just going to turn that down just a little bit. So that's probably a little bit better for what I'd want to be. So then you just hit select to do that again, to go back to the regular menu. So other things it has, you can check the firmware, update the firmware, check your storage on a scale of 1 to 9, how much time do you have left, check your battery, how much time do you have left, playback files via the headphone jack. And to go into record, you just go to R and then push and hold, and you can just see that it flashed 02, and that means we're recording our second file on this. The meter is enabled. The meter is not enabled. That was a lie. You can see that it's flashing, telling you that it's going, and the headphone jack is disabled in this mode. Okay, so once you start recording, that's it. Okay, and so to stop, you would take it's recessed in here. You would take your screwdriver or whatever poking implement you have and push the stop button. And to power it down, just like that. So that's the little darling right there. And then the new kid on the block is the Tascam DR-10L. It's in pre-order right now. We got our hands on one. Thank you to the folks at Tascam. The Tascam is actually a little bit smaller than all of them, as you can see. The JuicedLink's probably the biggest. The Zaxcom is a close second in terms of size, and then the Zaxcom, well, maybe front and back, the Zaxcom's a little bit skinnier. So maybe the Zaxcom's just broad and has been on a diet or something. Anyway, but the Tascam's small, super small. It's pretty easy to use. It just has a power switch and a record switch on the same side with headphone level to turn it on. Power switch. It's got a nice screen, menu-driven, like the Zaxcom is. And it's pretty easy to figure out, how to get into the menu. You just hit menu and scroll up and down for whatever it is that you want. Not super flexible gain setting, so it's really only got 5 gain. Well, it's got 6 gain settings: low, kind of low, medium, medium high, and then high and then really high. And then it also has an auto level control, so you can turn that on. So it's 5 available in this menu and another menu. This records 48K 24-bit, again onto a micro SD card, which is over here. There you go, you see that there right next to the headphone jack. It works on 1 AAA battery. The specs say that this will run for about 10 hours on 1 AAA alkaline. Obviously more than that if you do lithium. And again, getting into and out of record is pretty simple. You just hit the record switch, out of the menu, hit the record switch, and boom, it switches over to record. And just to show you what the levels look like, we'll plug something in. There we go. To stop it from recording, it's the same switch. And you'll see if you look very, very closely that there are little levels on there. So that's the Tascam DR-10. Sorry, DR-10L, not DR-10. So anyway, these all are great problem solvers. Definitely something to have in your kit for, if, like, let's say I did something at a rally car event where people were driving around rally cars, and there were too many. I couldn't just drop the bag in the car because there were like 5 cars going around, and they were going probably about a quarter of a mile away. So if I'd had any combination of these, and either with with the JuicedLink or the Tascam, being able to double mic people and being able to match back, either using a slate and then still being able to use the wireless for my main on-camera stuff, that would have been awesome. Or if I had the Zaxcom, being able to record with timecode is pretty great. And just being able to match back easily like that, that kind of a situation. Also, since it's an election year and the RF spectrum is shrinking, the nice thing about these things is that there's no wireless involved. So if you're going to, if you're going to a debate, if you're going to the RNC, the DNC, whatever, and you don't have a frequency planned out, guess what? You're probably not going to get one. It would behoove you to have one of these things so that you can hand off the file later on, allow them to match it back, and probably boom the best you can. So, little problem solvers, and these guys are they're both $199. The Tascam's on sale now, and the Zaxcom, I forget how much the Zaxcom is.
We have a convenient comparison chart.
Oh, amazing. So the small one is $1050, and the ZFR300 is $1050, and the ZFR200 is $950. Great. So clearly a big price difference, but that's what you get when you get timecode and wireless headphone monitoring. Anyway, if there's anything you'd like to see them do, if you'd like to see them, do a play like, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? I'm over here. Hey, go away from her. That's my girl. That kind of thing. Let us know now in the comments, or if you have any questions about anything I didn't cover. They're all available for order now. The Tascam's in pre-order, and there is a special rebate bringing it down to $169.99. And they're all great things. Should we do any other plays? Let's have them play football. Okay. So, I forgot to say, the Tascam comes with a pouch and a microphone, which is pretty exciting. So let's see. The headphones are going to be on the JuicedLink side, and the Zaxcom with the microphone on the Tascam. So Zaxcom's the quarterback, drops back to pass. He's got the mic. He's got a scramble. The JuicedLink's closing in. Everybody's down, and they're stuffed at the end zone. Anyway. That's it for me here. Thanks for watching. This Sunday in New York City and Atlanta, we are having Timecode Day, where you can catch the code, not like me who has a cold. It's going to be from 12 to 4. In New York City, we're going to have Ambient, Betso, Mo's Gear, Tentacle Sync, and Timecode systems here. Not just the gear, but also representatives from that. In terms of the Ambient and Timecode systems one, we're going to be showing off the wireless integration of Timecode. Not only that, but also wireless metadata with the Master Locket and with the Pulse, so that for post workflows and camera. So that'll be really exciting to see that. And coming up in about 2 weeks on November 6th, we're going to be in Boston, my hometown. I love that dirty water. We're going to be doing I call it the Mixer. We're calling it the Expo, but basically we're going to get together, allow people in Boston to get hands-on equipment that maybe they haven't seen yet, and also drink some beer and have some food. So if you'd like to come to either of those events, you can RSVP on our Facebook page, or if you just like to show up, you can also just show up. That's totally fine. Anyway, as always, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and you can watch this video and other videos on Vimeo and YouTube. And last but not least, if you have any ideas for things that you would like, including more equipment football, email them to us at info@gothamsound.com. Thanks for watching. See you soon.